The following is a production of Learfield Sports.
The Badger Hockey Digest, presented by Charter Communications.
Hi, welcome to the Badger Hockey Digest, brought to you by Charter Communications. I'm the radio voice of Wisconsin hockey, Brian Posick, with head coach Mike Eaves. The Badgers wrapped up their regular season home schedule last weekend with a split against 10th-ranked Denver. Played well on Friday, just couldn't put the puck away and lost 3-0. But then on Saturday, they lit the lamp 5 times in a 5-2 victory, and I know your players were very excited afterward. That was a very good effort.
They were excited and happy for a lot of reasons. The fact that it was the number 10th ranked team in the country. It was our last home game. It kind of sent our lone senior off, Eric Springer, on a really good note. And I think our hope for our staff and our players is that we captured the way that we played. If we could put that in a bottle, that would be the way that we would want to play. And actually, the only ingredient that had been missing in the previous 5 games in which we had lost was the fact that we scored. And getting to the 5 goals was a big factor. Yeah, but the feeling that our kids had, you could sense the way they knew they had to play, and they came out and played. And now that game gives us a real good jumping board to spring from here into our last 2 series that are on the road and get us ready for the playoffs, because that game there was a playoff game.
Yeah. On Saturday night, 5 different goal scorers for the Badgers. Mark Zangerle and Justin Schultz both scored, and I think they were a little bit relieved. They'd been pressing just a bit. These are 2 young men that you need to score, and you saw them play very, very well on Saturday.
Well, our depth at scoring is somewhat limited because of our youth and such, and those guys shoulder a lot of responsibility. And quite frankly, when you're not scoring and you're expected to, you press. And even at the pro level, guys have to deal with that from a mental standpoint. How do you get yourself back in that flow state and just relax and play? And they found that state on Saturday, and they were very good along with a lot of their teammates.
Yeah. Justin Schultz may have played his final game at the Kohl Center. Here's a young man that's done so many things. He's got such a bright future in the professional game, doesn't he?
Well, it's interesting that you noted that before he left the ice, he lingered, I think was the word you used on there. So we may have seen Justin's last game, but of all the young players that we've had here in the last 10 years, he certainly ranks up in that higher echelon of the young guys that have a good future. He has a nice skill set. But again, the most impressive thing about young Justin, and for those young people that are listening out there, is the fact that how hard he works day in and day out.
Yeah. And Eric Springer, the lone senior in this year's club, played his 76th game on Saturday. He's a young man that's tried to get into the lineup, cracked it this year, and has been playing his best hockey this year, hasn't he?
No question. He's played his best hockey going down the stretch, and that's been fun to see. It's very rewarding, not only for Eric, but the coaching staff that, he finally, for whatever reason, figured out his role, what his strengths are, and playing to those strengths. And that's a constant battle that all players have, because you have a set of skills and you want to improve in other areas, but you got to find that comfort zone where you can play and be effective. And fortunately for Eric and our team, he found that going down the stretch here, and we need to have him play that way in these last 4, 5, 6 games, or however long we're going to play.
Let's keep it rolling. Let's keep it rolling. Next year, when the Badgers step on the Kohl Center ice, they'll be stepping on the Bob Johnson rink. We'll talk more about that in this weekend's series against Bemidji State after this from Charter Communications.
Charter built this facility on the international date line to literally have 1 foot in the future and bring you technology like the Charter Bundle, the most powerful internet, TV in HD, and Charter phone. And if you sign up today, yesterday where you are, there'll be a $200 credit waiting for you in the future.
The UW Athletic Department announced this week that next season, the ice surface at the Kohl Center will be called Bob Johnson Rink, after Wisconsin's legendary coach. He led the Badgers to their first 3 national championships in 1973, 77, and 81. Coached the Canada Cup, World Championships, the Olympics, and also won a Stanley Cup with the Pittsburgh Penguins in 1991 before passing away of brain cancer that fall. But you played for Bob Johnson, just not only a fantastic coach, but a great man.
His enthusiasm and positive outlook were the things that, if you were around Bob for a while, you took away. And even pro guys who could be a little crusty, when they came to know Bob truly as he was, they played for the man, and that's a great statement about Bob and who he was. And him coming to Wisconsin at the time he did was the perfect guy, because he had to sell the sport here. He had to get out at the grassroots and sell it, and he had all that energy, enthusiasm, and he did a tremendous job. And he was able to coach at all levels and have an effect on people, such that around the world people know the phrase, "It's a great day for hockey."
Could you share the story you shared with the media this week in regards to a defenseman, a Hall of Fame defenseman, in Paul Coffey of the Pittsburgh Penguins when he was playing for Bob Johnson?
Well, this was in Pittsburgh, and Bob was there coaching, and I had a chance to talk to Paul after Bob had passed away. And I said, how was it playing for Bob? And he said, well, for the first 4 or 5 months, he'd come to the rink, and he wanted us to love coming to the rink, and he was excited to be there. And we thought he was crazy or full of crap. Yeah. And then after Christmas time, he was still the same guy. Every day he came, and that's who he was. And when they figured out that's who the man was, they really enjoyed being around him. And in the end, they played for him.
Yeah. Not only did Bob win a Stanley Cup as coach in 1991, but the Penguins thought so highly of him, they inscribed his name on the Stanley Cup when they won it the following year as well. Bob Johnson Rink next year. Can't wait. The Badgers head to Bemidji this weekend. Wisconsin's never played there ever, whether it's in the WCHA or ever before. They're 3-0 all time against Bemidji. I harken back to the 2006 national tournament when you beat the Beavers 4-0. But this is a team that has a Madison kid in Jordan George, one of their top scorers of all time, a defenseman that few people know about in Brad Hunt, a very good goaltender in Dan Bakla, and they play well at home. This is a pretty good team.
Oh, you watch them play, and the thing that jumps out is how hard they work. They play in a small rink, so they take time and space away very well, and they rely on their young goaltender. He's not young now, he's a senior, but their goaltender to make big saves for him. So that combination of things helps them win some games, and we'll have our hands full. I'm excited, though. They got a great rink there, and hockey is a big part of their community. It may be the biggest thing in town by a long shot. So we'll go there, and it'll be a great atmosphere. I'm looking forward to it.
Hockey, ice fishing, and Paul Bunyan. But as far as Wisconsin, this is playoff time. Yeah. I mean, we'll see if you can carry the momentum of Saturday's game into this weekend and beyond. And I still believe, and coaches have told me, nobody wants to play Wisconsin when it gets to the postseason.
Well, again, what happened on Saturday, if we can bottle that, if we can go back in our minds and remember how we prepared and how we went out and played, and realistically, the crowd had a big thing to do with that. Crowd's been great all year, but that crowd was electric. And it doesn't matter if we're on the road, the way we play is what we need to do from here on out, because that was some top-level hockey for us.
All right. There is no television this weekend for the Badgers in Bemidji State, but you can listen to the games on the Badger Radio Network, 7 o'clock on Friday night. 7 o'clock on Friday night, 6:30 on Saturday night, again on the Badger Sports Network. Thanks for watching the Badger Hockey Digest, brought to you by Charter Communications.